So I want to address a concern that some new agents have about the nature of how we sell insurance and why this business predominantly, not all the time, but predominantly is a one-call close business, and why it's so important, not just to you, the agent, but to the clients you're selling insurance, to make this a one-call close opportunity. My name is David Duford, owner of Duford Insurance Group, where I train and recruit agents nationally to sell things like final expense, Medicare, annuities, both over the phone and face-to-face. So here's the thing. Insurance is a product in which people don't want to buy, okay? I mean, I can think of all sorts of things that I'd want to spend my money on. Maybe some private lessons at jiu-jitsu, some nice steaks to cook, or possibly some more equipment for my gym. You know, more of stuff that's like immediate gratification type stuff, right? Well, insurance is the last thing on people's mind to buy because usually it involves you paying a premium for something you'll never ever possibly use in your entire life. So the nature of how our product is, and especially so for life insurance, a lot of you watching sell life insurance, so I'll emphasize that as I go through this. Life insurance is probably the most, as well as most insurance, the most intangible product one can buy. Tangible being you can like touch and feel it. Like a new car, you can get the car smell, you can hear the engine roar. Whereas intangible is, you can't see it or touch it, it's conceptual in basis. Well, that's how insurance is, and when we take it a step further, even with something like life insurance, you have to literally die to get it, right? I mean, how more intangible can you get? You can never see the thing beyond seeing the policy and reading the legalese in it. So this leads, in my opinion, to a behavior pattern that is undeniable, not just in America, but across the world when it comes to things like buying insurance. This is something you don't buy until you're prompted to buy it because of the urging of somebody else. And if you don't take advantage of that opportunity, it's likely that because of the nature of this, it's going to slip back into the realms of the mind and become less of a urgent factor to purchase until something happens again that prompts the reminder that this is important. Thus is the reason why it's so vital to close on the first call. We have to basically jump on the opportunity that we've been presented with our clients. We have to take advantage of the fact that they're vulnerable. Now, that sounds a little weird. Vulnerable in the sense of they've seen their own vulnerability. We have to show them with their open and their sense of their open mind that the hearse is literally backed up against the front porch. That the things they take for granted, like the health in their life, like the good way their life is going, can change in a heartbeat without expectation, certainly without any sort of signs that bad things are going to come. And to really make our mortal lives real, that death happens to us all or bad things happen to us all, and it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, especially when it comes to something like life insurance. So we have to do it in a way to urge somebody to buy, not in a high-pressure, guilt-tripping, kind of old-fashioned routine. Instead of applying pressure, the principle I like to teach my agents is to build internal tension. I learned this from an agent named Tim Winder. He's out of Iowa, great guy, great final expense guy, wrote a ton of business 10 years ago when he was full-time. I don't know where he is right now, but great guy. And I remember him sharing this concept of building internal tension. Whereas applying outside pressure, this is when you nag your client to buy, you make them feel stupid or bad or ridicule them. This is not the way to sell insurance nor the way to keep it. Because once you're gone, Mildred may just call and cancel the other day when you're not there to save it, right? And it's very stressful to the agent, certainly to the client. And I think it leads to a lot of lapse issues, chargeback problems, and agents leaving the business. But building internal tension is entirely different. It's helping the client see the insecurity of really where they are in their life. That without said coverage you're going to sell them, really bad things might happen, but they will happen. And by waiting longer than necessary to take care of these problems, the problems only manifest larger and larger and become more and more expensive, and maybe even reach a point, if they're avoided, that they'll be ineligible to actually buy the coverage that they once had. We all, as insurance agents experienced in this business, have horror stories where clients chose not to buy insurance, or they've heard from people who chose not to buy insurance, and they suffered consequences because of sudden death, sudden illnesses, Financial collapse came from it. And it affected not just the clients' lives, but everybody else around them. And we need to, as agents, and the best way to build internal tension is to share parables or share stories of these examples of what you've experienced, what your peers have experienced, and let our clients know that real people like them have gone through this process of making wrong decisions. And the consequences were much more expensive, much more devastating than paying a premium once a month. That, might be, something they probably would rather not make, but end up should have been making it and making their lives extremely easier and simpler. So bottom line, that's the thing with this particular business, guys. Please do not avoid don't avoid making this some multi-step type of sale. Because what you invariably run into in this situation is that you'll have people, and if you don't build their internal tension and desire and urgency to buy today, and they just say, well, let me think about it, talk to my spouse, my pet rock, or whatever their excuse is. Who knows? As you walk out that door, and let's say you're selling something like what we do, like life insurance, you might be in a position where their health changes for the worse permanently. And what you could have gotten them, you may never be able to get them again. And their family is entirely and permanently scarred in some way because, frankly, you didn't have the guts to close the deal. Quick story before I end to bring the point home. Many years ago in a little town called McMinnville, Tennessee, kind of center of Tennessee, south of Nashville, about an hour and a half. I had rolled up on a house, first one of the day. I was doing a ride along with a guy, I think his name is Milton. And we sat down with the lady, daughter was there, and just a normal appointment, and daughter was encouraging her mom to get insurance. So we wrote her up with a little insurance plan. It was a graded plan. It didn't give her full coverage, but it gave her partial first day full coverage. And we shook hands. She was happy. The daughter certainly was too. And we went about our day. Literally 24 hours later, I got a phone call from the daughter, and the daughter said, my mom is dead. She was cleaning the dishes, and she just got wobbly and collapsed and was lifeless before the EMT people got there, and she was gone. And I found out about this actually before she called, the company called, because I hadn't sent the paperwork in yet. And the company was like, this person died and they say you got a policy on. Well, this policy covered from the first day that the policy was written. And if I hadn't been there, and this is like when all of this dawned on me, right? If I hadn't been there to encourage this collection of people to buy, then they wouldn't have had anything. And I mean, we're talking about people who are low income, meager, they're not rolling around in cash money. And it was because I had the urgency, or instilled the urgency in them to buy, that there was at least something for the surviving family members. And certainly they knew, as many people who buy life insurance knows, that we are going to die one day. But they didn't know, neither did I nor anyone else know, that death would happen so quickly. And that is just the nature of life, my friends. And you have to carry this understanding and this conviction with you when you're on your appointments to one call close them, not for your own personal gain, but for your clients. Because what you sell is the solution to a potential lifetime of financial problems, to a potential ending of familial relationships, because money is one of the biggest reasons why people, friends or family and friends too, stop talking to each other and break up and all that bad stuff. So you really have a very important role, a very huge responsibility. And because you're licensed, you're only one of few people who can actually solve this problem. So see the behavior of what our clients is for what it is. And let that instill inside you the reason to take action today, to encourage your clients to buy. Yes, it's going to benefit you, but more importantly, it's going to benefit your clients. And the day will come when you don't push to get that policy sold, that you'll hear the next day, the next week, month, year from now, some family member calling you asking, where's the policy? My mom just died. And then you'll have to think for yourself, why didn't I do the best I could have? Could have I done better? Why didn't I go all the way with this client and help them in the way they asked? So prepare yourself. Don't be in that position. Take the responsibility. Be an evangelist for life insurance and urge your clients to buy it for their own good. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this kind of content, I do it daily. You can simply subscribe at the bottom, thumbs up the video if you liked it, and certainly leave a comment. Feel free to share a story of death with one of your clients where this kind of clicked for you. It's very useful for the new agents out there. And until next time, thanks for listening, guys. Hope this kind of inspired you to make things happen a little bit faster. See ya.